RUBEN Amorim is about to speak to the media any moment now. We're bringing you live reaction to everything he has been asked and his response to the media today at Carrington. Open training has just taken place, and well, when you look at the team and everyone's available, no real surprises. No Matthijs de Ligt. I'm sure questions about de Ligt will be asked in the press conference. We're about to get the official update on Matthijs de Ligt and where his injury recovery is at. Aidan Heaven was training on his own training at Carrington today, so recovery continues for him. At least he's on grass and doing work, so maybe able to feature in some of the last few games in the Premier League, I'm guessing, from now until the end of the season, either West Ham, Chelsea or Aston Villa. And that's about it in terms of the injuries that we can actually see. But waiting for real confirmation from RUBEN on certain situations and certain players anyway. But yeah, the press conference is about to begin, and it is a slightly earlier one today. So we're going to be going straight into all of the reaction from the questions from the press conference. They usually may be a tiny little bit of a delay, especially, usually away from home in European press conferences. But more often than not, at home, it's not too bad because we're in complete control of it. They have the training session, then the players make their way inside. It will be Alejandro Garnacho that's joining RUBEN Amorim in the press conference today. First time we've seen that in a long time, to be honest. So, yeah, when you look at it, it looks like Garnacho's definitely starting, as we'd expect him to anyway. But then again, he did feature for a while against Brentford. He's been one of them players that has played in between all of the games, which shows you where RUBEN Amorim's at when it comes to players he can rely on who have got the right fitness and can play out all of these really important games for United right now. As much as he has tried to say that the Premier League games are important, he knows, everybody knows, that the Europa League is the be-all and end-all. Going to be interesting to see how he reacts to the news that we got earlier on today with the 4 key players missing now from Athletic's squad, which is obviously Vivian through suspension. Sunset still hasn't recovered from his injury, who is their star player, but both Williams brothers are being left out of the squad as well. Now, I can already see people in the chat talking about this, actually. But I mentioned this after the game last week. And I said, look, Bilbao's league campaign now, with the Champions League looking more and more likely the best option through La Liga for them, they're probably not going to send the squad over, which is capable of beating Manchester United. I think they would have been thinking about actually resting some players for this game, which is crazy to say it. And I said it at the time, and everyone was at it. No, calm down, Adam. I'm telling you right now, the way that La Liga is panned out and how close Betis are to Villarreal and both Bilbao now in that chase for them Champions League places in La Liga, Bilbao pretty much have to knuckle down to league form, and maybe they're just resting these players. They haven't travelled. Is it the white flag being waved by Bilbao? RUBEN is in situ, he's in his seat, and the questions are about to get going. So here we go, everybody. Everything's on time for a change, it would seem, which is good. So yes, RUBEN's in situ. Questions are being asked now. Here we go, and we'll go through all of the key points that actually come up from the press conference. Do a quick fire live show just to keep you completely updated. So then, if anybody is watching it back later, we're just going to go through these quote by quote and reactions, and then you're completely up to date as well. And we'll do a bit of a recap in the evening show as well on everything that RUBEN said also. But this is your live instant reaction to everything going on now. I'm just going to bring you everything that comes out from this presser now. Just as everything is being asked. Garnacho asked if he wants to be at United next season. Oh, God. Like, right into Garnacho questions. My God. Well, talk about throwing him right in at the deep end there. It says he has a contract to 2028 and he's happy. So, yeah, usual player response. I think with it being someone like Garnacho, who has been talked about quite a lot this season regarding transfers, I think this is really like the first opportunity some of the media have had to actually have a go in on Garnacho and get it from the horse's mouth. Amorim says de Ligt is not a big issue, but he won't play in either game this week. So de Ligt is not going to play against Bilbao or West Ham, but it does look good and it's not too serious going into next season, it would seem, for Matthijs de Ligt. It looks like we might not see him from now until the end of the season. I'm guessing, unless we desperately need him for the final. And Matthijs de Ligt, I think his season might be just about over, but it's not that serious, and at least he will have a pre-season. I think that's important to take from this as well. We've had to work hard to be in the squad. I just have to train well every day, and I will be available for the games. That's Garnacho on his form, on his improved form as well. I think basically there, it's just like going into what RUBEN said. Like, these players have to train hard, they have to work hard, and they are going to get picked if they're showing the right attitude and have got the right mentality. And I think Garnacho was, like I said before, we started the presser here, like now playing constantly every single game and starting every single game. I think he has taken advantage of a few players missing. So, yeah. Amorim on Bruno Fernandes' future and his importance. I think it is easy to understand that. It's a transfer speculation, not just of the numbers, but the way he plays. He is a top player, and we need top players. He is a leader, the captain. It is natural that people want Bruno, but we want to keep him. He is one of the top players in the world. RUBEN labelling Bruno Fernandes, like we said he would do, and like we knew he was going to, a massively important player. We want to keep him. He's not said he's not going anywhere in that quote there. I will search out more information on this as the press conference goes on. And everything that's actually been said in full detail. And we'll bring that up later on as well. Garnacho has been talking about how he's found this season. I think it's not been easy in the middle of the season when you change the manager and all the staff. In my mind, I just try to work hard every day and show the manager that I want to play. Pretty much exactly the same answer that he gave in the first question that he answered. Not much difference there from Alejandro on that one. Thomas says in the chat, I think we should sell Bruno. If we're getting 150 million for him, he has only a couple of years left. Let's spend the money. If he goes, bring in one or two good players. I think you'll get more than one or two. Should we be worried if we get Spurs in the final? No, we shouldn't, mate. We shouldn't be worried about anyone in the final, to be honest. And with Spurs losing Maddison, I think you're also looking there at a weakened Spurs side. I don't fear Bodo Glimt either away from home. I don't think they're as strong. Amorim on de Ligt, just to go into detail, again, a little bit on that if you missed that. He has said it's not a big issue. That is a good thing. He cannot play tomorrow or Sunday, but then we will check day by day and we will see. Aiden doesn't recover. Tobit is not available. I think that's it. So we've only got 3 players missing. Obviously, aside of Diogo Dalot. Now, I was told Diogo Dalot is already on the treadmill. When his season was apparently over, word from Carrington is that Dalot is in rapid recovery mode and could well be available now for the final. So don't think that Dalot's season is over. It's not. It did look that way, but he's back on the treadmill running already. And you know what that means. It means that he's only a couple of weeks away max. Perfect time for, yep, you guessed it, that Europa League final. And he will start. If he's available, Dalot will start in that game. We know he will. And I think RUBEN's probably... I don't think he's been asked that question in the press conference, but that's what I was told earlier on, that Dalot is already back on the treadmill and isn't a million miles away. Aiden Heaven training on his own. Collier training separately as well. Not quite ready. And now obviously coming back into the fold in certain team training sessions as well. Still not match fit, won't feature. I think he's basically just talking about what's actually in front of him here right now and how he expects these players in terms of recovery and availability to feature for Manchester United from now until the end of the season. I think that's what we're talking about. Amorim has been talking and said, I had a feeling that they, Athletic, were really intense, but most of the opportunities were a little bit our fault. We lost possessions, true. We created chances because when we lost the ball, we had problems. Sometimes we have 30 minutes with a lot of problems, and we showed the players why we had that problem. We watched it quite a few times. We showed them why we had so many problems in the first 30 minutes. So they've gone over the videos. They've analysed everything, is what Ruben is saying there, and he's just trying to get it into the players' heads where they're going wrong and where they're failing right now. There's a lot of individual errors, isn't there? Garnacho on being close to matching Ronaldo's goal-scoring record. Who's asking this stupid question? I'm not focused on numbers. I think when Cristiano Ronaldo played here, it was a different type of football and a different type of game. We are training really hard. Me, Rasmus Højlund, and strikers in the team. I think we are improving and trying to get better. God, simple garbage responses. But you're going to get them responses when you ask stupid questions. One goal can change the momentum of the game. We are prepared to fight to win the game, not to think about the aggregate and the results. That's from Ruben Amorim on the danger of Manchester United's 3-0 lead at the moment. I've not picked up on anything yet regarding the weakness in Athletics' starting lineup or even their squad and what's travelled. So that, I think, it should be coming up in a moment. We should get an opportunity to get plenty of context out of this press conference today. There'll be plenty of questions asked. Loads of time for people to get their questions in. Hammering on why United will have to suffer to reach the final. It's everything together. If you look at our team, we cannot say today that is going to happen. There are some teams in any league that can understand the game is going to be like this and could change a little bit. We have to face the game as one more game. I feel we have to score to go into the next round. That is how we are going to approach the game. So basically, going in, we will have to suffer a little bit to go to the final. We are ready to suffer. Suffer to go to the final. How are we suffering? I don't get it. It's just cryptic. Ruben answering again with that one there. But he's going to go into the game to score and to win. And if you go in with that mindset, we will blow Bilbao away. We already have done. And if we go in with the same mindset as we would as if we had to win the game, it's a non-starter for Bilbao. They haven't got the quality. They haven't got their main players in. They're missing a complete spine near enough and their best wingers. It's not going to happen for them. If United blow this, it will be the biggest catastrophe in football. It will. It will be the biggest embarrassment in Manchester United's history if we throw away a 3-0 lead with all of the opposition's players out, best players out, missing, and we're at Old Trafford. Like, you just cannot lose this game. I mean, Manchester United are improving. He said this again. We are improving the way we play. We are more confident and we are ready to face this challenge. Just cut out the individual errors, like he said. And when he analyses the game, and when he analyses, like he's been talking about there, all of the mistakes and showing the plays over and over again, like, you'd hope it sinks in. Because if he's showing them the game against Bilbao, then it's gone in one ear and straight out the other. Because the same stupid mistakes were happening. That's why we conceded 4 against bleeding Brentford on Sunday. So again, it comes down to the quality of the player. And if they cannot understand or take instruction, you just don't belong at the top level. And the decision needs to be made. So if it isn't sinking in, it's because of the quality of the players. The footballing IQ in Manchester United is very, very low. There are certain players that have got it, and there are certain players that are clearly struggling and are struggling with Ruben's system. And unless you do go in gun-ho into this transfer window and start cutting where's necessary, and then you're going to have the same conversation with the media week in, week out. We're getting better. No, we're not. We're going further and further down the table because these blackout moments are still happening with every single player on this pitch. In terms of injuries, on Athletics' injury situation, and finally someone's asked that question, it doesn't matter. For us, it doesn't matter. We need to go to the game. It's a final for us, and we need to go in to win the game. So when asked about the injury situation at Bilbao, he's just responded with, we go in with the same mindset. It's exactly the same as it was before. No difference. Manchester United are going to win the game at Old Trafford. Simple as. Rolls with a super chat. Thank you, mate. Not taking the piss. What question would you ask Garner if you got the chance? What question would I ask Garnacho if I had the chance? Have you learnt from the start of Ruben Amorim's spell at the football club? Have you seen... Basically, I would ask him in that incident around the Manchester derby. Did that moment sink in? Is that when everything changed for you? When you seen Rashford get dropped out the Manchester derby, a local Manchester lad, and you got dropped with him, was that the key moment for you? when you knew that things were going to change at United? That's what I would ask anyway. Just thanks for the super chat, mate, again on that one, buddy. But yeah, I think that would be where I would go, because everything obviously has changed from that moment, because that's when the window opened and Garnacho was reportedly leaving in January, but United couldn't find a replacement, so he stayed. But that was a time like, wow, yeah, I don't just walk into this team. I would have hoped it would have felt like that for Garnacho. Amorim on the Europa League, winners getting Champions League. Again, this is he gets asked this all the time. I just know the rules. If people want to change the rules, by all means, but these are the rules, and the rules are that you win the Europa League, you go into the Champions League. So we will follow the rules. How many times can you say rules in a couple of sentences? I don't think a lot about it. I know that the Champions League is for the champions or the best team in the leagues. We are just following the rules. In terms of the backdoor entry into the Champions League, that question was aiming at. Look, you're going out to win a trophy, and if that trophy brings you into another competition, what are you going to do? We are lucky. We are incredibly lucky to be in this position right now. And Manchester United, from falling off the cliff and into the abyss, have literally just clung on and put a hook in and dragged themselves back into the top level of football again. That's the Europa League. It is a complete get out of jail card for Manchester United, because without it, United would not be able to qualify for Europe next season unless we made the top 6 or won the FA Cup. Incredibly difficult when you haven't got the budget of Champions League money as well. And again, I think that's important in saying that, but also what you've got to look at there is that Manchester United are going into this summer with the same plan, whether it is or without Champions League. And I think that's important as well. Amorim on describing his United squad as the worst in the club's history a few months ago. That's a good question to ask, actually. I think you have to see quotes in the moment, so things can change. If you look at the Premier League, since I arrived, we are the worst team since I arrived. At the end of the season, we can be the worst team in Premier League history with a European title. This has been really disappointing for everyone, but nothing is going to change. In that moment, sometimes I have to think a little bit more. So he has owned up to this before and said, look, sometimes being a young manager, he says things that he doesn't think about and it gets completely misquoted or blown up within the media. He gets it. He needs to learn about what he says after certain moments. It's hard, really, when you come into Manchester United and you're brought in mid-season, coming from a winning side at Sporting, and you make Manchester United even worse on paper, which is there and everybody can see because we are. Then it's hard to take. And certain reactions come out because he's the one who's going to get the flak for it, not these players. And I think he's come into Manchester United and he's been blown away by how crap this squad is and how they've struggled to adapt. Garnacho on Amorim's comments about this squad being the worst in United's history. So they've just moved it across to Garnacho now. We know that we are not doing a great job in the Premier League, but the manager said before that we have followed the rules and tomorrow is a final. We will face it like it's 0-0. If we win the Europa League, we will be in the Champions League and we will face next season with a different mentality and in a different way. And so basically saying, sorry, but next season we'll change. Don't like that kind of answer, to be honest. I really don't. We will be different. Why weren't you different this season? Why weren't you able to make it happen this season? Just don't answer it that way, I would think. Yeah, it's all right. Forget about this because we've won the Europa League. That there is proof for me and where the problem is for Manchester United this summer. Garnacho just answered a question there, which is based around somebody asking him about getting into the Champions League via the Europa League and being the worst Premier League squad at the same time. And his answer to that was basically say, well, forget about that. Forget about the Premier League this season. We're going into this game this week and we're going to win it. And if we win it, we're in the Champions League and then we'll be different next season. No. Basically, you are part of the problem like every other player in the squad. So for me, I look at it and I just say, this is the type of answer you're going to get from players who are in this Manchester United bubble. This is, for me, what they don't get. And because it's the same questions all of the time, and everybody right now is wanting to know how Garnacho feels because he's not faced an interview in a very, very long time, you're going to get it. And this is proof that Manchester United mollycoddle every single player. Every single player. He's answering a question about being the worst team in Manchester United's history off what the back of his manager has said. And he said next season will be different. There isn't much else he can say. And that there, I think, is just the United way. And that's what we have created as a football club. It's not Garnacho's fault. It's not anybody else's fault. It's the fact that Garnacho is still there and all of these other players are still there and they're saying these things proves that what's happening at Manchester United is just not good enough. And that, I think, is what we're getting there in Garnacho answering questions. Answering questions he shouldn't really be facing, to be honest. I think he's the wrong type of player to be thrown into this situation. And I think it's bad again from United, to be honest. I really do. But look, I don't expect him to say anything else because he doesn't realise. He doesn't realise. Unless someone at the top level says to RUBEN, and RUBEN's brave enough to make the calls, then RUBEN will lose his job because of this. And this is what I'm trying to say. I don't expect Garnacho to say anything else. It's not his fault. And it's not all his fault on his own. But this is how players feel. They don't understand what's happening outside of Manchester United's walls and the protection that this football club gives them. And unless somebody takes them out and makes them leave like we did with Rashford, then I'm sorry. It's going to be the same again next season in the Premier League. It's not just going to change. And Garnacho's saying it's going to be different next season. It'll be different because we're in the Champions League. And expectations will be different. I know he's right in what he's saying there. But the Premier League's not going to change because it's the same players. Why are they going to be any different? RUBEN's asking him to do something right now. If you can't get something in 5 months off this manager, understand what he wants, then it's not going to change 7 or 8 months down the line either. You should have already understood what you need to do. And that's not just Garnacho, that's all of the players because we are the worst team in Manchester United's Premier League history. So, yeah, hopefully that all the players are feeling this, but again, it's not up to them. It's not the players' fault. It's the club's fault. Anyway, pretty much covering everything there on that one. Worst team in history, yes. I'm on Athletic Bilbao. The idea of Athletic Bilbao will not change, but the characteristics of the players will change. And that is important for us to know. It is going to be a strong team with a strong identity. Yeah, look, the weaker, they're just going to not carry any punch, basically, Bilbao. That's what we're saying. Garnacho and adjusting to a new formation. I think it is difficult for everyone when it is in the middle of a season, when a new manager comes in and changes formation. We just need to follow the rules, and I am trying to improve every day. I think we are improving as a team also. Pretty much saying exactly what Ruben Amorim said there. Same. In terms of the press conference itself, that pretty much is all of the questions there for everybody. What do we reckon to that, people? Get into the comments section and let me know where we're at with it. Thank you, everyone who has commented. Let's just get through another super chat from Glenn. First of all, Ghana can't really say it will be different because we will sign players and some of us won't be here. No, you can't say that, Glenn. But again, like the point I'm making is simply these players don't know because the club allow them to continue. And it's not going to change, is what I'm saying. Garnacho isn't going to change the way he played. He is just that natural wide player. He's adapting and he's getting better. But I keep on saying this, and people don't get what I'm going on about a lot of the time. It's that RUBEN will be the one that gets the sack and Garnacho will move on to another manager. And it's rinse and repeat, and it will continue and continue. Garnacho wasn't the right man to sit there in that press conference today. Because you knew, and literally, first question out was on Garnacho. That never happens. It's all about Garnacho. And again, I just don't think Man United thought about the player to come in and speak today. But look, I ain't got a problem with Garnacho. I think he is getting better, but I do still strongly believe that he won't be in that starting lineup come start next season. I don't think he'll be there. Someone else will be in, and this when he says it's going to be different next season, I think he means that, and he has to be thinking this way as well. I think in his head, Garnacho's thinking they won't be able to get away with this as well. He has to be thinking that because he knows Amorim's called him out Amorim's calling out his team here, telling them that they are the worst team in Premier League history for Manchester United. They are. And they have to accept that. So it will be different for Garnacho and the rest of the team next season, because they won't be allowed, and these standards won't be accepted at Manchester United. It's as simple as that, really, when you look at it. So, yeah. Ruben, I still feel that this season was the worst in the last 50 years. Look, Ruben's just calling it straight out there. Look, you're all Ruben's part, the players are part of the worst season for Manchester United. That's basically what he's saying. And Garnacho, honestly, when asked the stupid question about the numbers and Ronaldo again, like, I feel sorry for him in a way. I do. I really do feel sorry for him, because the people in that press conference are asking questions that they think are right in the real world. These players are not in the real world. They're wrapped up in cotton wool and protected by this football club. And they're just not prepared to answer them at all. And I think, again, the only way that this changes, no, I don't think, I know, the only way that this changes is if it's taken out of their hands and the clubs say, look, thank you, bye. Simple as. And I'm not just saying Garnacho there with that. If they cannot see Garnacho getting into this side, he's not happy with his game time next season. He's on the list with many others that need to be cut and sold. That's where we're at. Ruben asked about Arsene Wenger saying UEFA should not allow Europa League winners to qualify for the Champions League. I just know the rules. If people want to change the rules, by all means. Yeah, and going on about that, we said that before, he's just following the rules. Arsene Wenger's comments, idiot. It just so happens that it could be what? Spurs, one of your local rivals from your time at Arsenal, and your biggest rival while you were manager, Manchester United, going into the final and getting through the back door because your Arsenal team is about to get knocked out by PSG. And everything that they've done to be competitive in the top four for years, or compete at the top level of the Premier League right now, is not fair on them. Not really. All Arsene Wenger was just the manager that got Arsenal into the top four for the sake of it. So he's, honestly, like, if he's going to go down that road, then it should just be the champions. And let's be honest, you didn't win it enough times yourself, Arsene, did you? Sour grapes, big time from Arsene Wenger, to be honest there. It really is. Nothing more, nothing less. Garnacho is better in a 4-4-2. Garnacho's a natural winger. I think Garnacho would be doing better under Ten Hag. I do. I think he'd be flourishing under Ten Hag. It's just that Ten Hag gave up to the players. Again, it's not Garnacho's fault. It's not. Look, I've seen change in Alejandro Garnacho. I've seen big change in him. And I think he's a go-to for Ruben at the moment in the circumstances. I do. His work rate is phenomenal, by the way. And you see that on TV. You see it more when you're at the games as well. When you see the miles that he's putting in right now and the effort that he's putting in, you can only credit him. You can. He has been one player that I think has realised that this is shit. This is not good enough. And he has changed. And that, I hope, carries on for Garnacho. I really do. I just fear in the summer when Cunha comes in, Bruno push further forward because we get another number 8 in. I just feel like he's not going to get the game time that he wants, and he will be on the way out of Manchester United. I really do. I really do. Look, we will be back later on today, everybody. That is your press conference roundup, all done and dusted. Just quickly to go through everything. I've got a game with Alfie tonight, and obviously it's Arsenal versus PSG. So the evening show will be earlier tonight, around about 5:30, so 5:30 tonight. There's a bit of a change. Last one in mixing up the schedule. Then we're going to be back to normal schedule from here on in, going forward then through the for the weeks through the summer. So at 5:30 live tonight. Loads of news coming out separate to the press conference today. A bit more detail and aftermath comments from the press conference will be involved in the show later on this evening as well. So I really do appreciate you sticking with us in terms of the changing of the times. Again, certain scheduling just needs to happen at this stage of the season. We have a big friendly, it's not, we can't call a friendly game big one, can you? But yeah, important game for Alfie tonight as well, which I'm at. So we will be going early off for the evening show tonight, everybody. So just remember, 5:30 tonight, live with your evening updates and breaking everything down that's going around Manchester United. But yeah, get your comments in and let me know what you think on that press conference in the comments section. And thank you again, everybody. Super chats, comments, bang on the money. Everybody, again, thank you for everybody who has liked the video. If you're loving the content, give the video a like on the way out. Make sure you hit that subscribe button as well, everyone. And I will see you all later on this afternoon. Have a good rest of the day, people.